Hello, I'm Rob Clementi from Television Education Network. Barry Frakes from Watts McRae is speaking at our family law conference in late July, and his theme is the new court structure, one of the most interesting subjects we'll be addressing at the conference. Barry, can I ask you one really important question? How are practitioners faring with this new structure?
It's an interesting mix of probably one of the largest changes we've ever had, all at the same time as we're coming back after COVID-19 lockdown. In some respects, like everything else in the world, the fact that the court has merged and started to change its rules, amend its practices and use its resources in a different way under a very significant new leadership, we're seeing a real generational change. And sometimes you're wondering, well, is this change because of everybody being more online through COVID? Is it because of the personnel? Is it because of a cultural change? My view is that the attitude is yes to all of those things. Even without COVID, we were going to have the cultural change of the merger of the courts. I think one of the major cultural changes is the re-emphasis on the work of judicial registrars and registrars in the court. The other thing that's been really significant in the cultural change is the way that registries are being asked to work together in sharing of resources, and being online helps that. That is, you can have a conciliation conference or a settlement conference with a judicial registrar, and that judicial registrar is meeting with you online, and it's meeting with, and the court is prepared to say, well, having regard to the resources, we're going to use a Brisbane registrar to deal with a Sydney matter, and it might be a local registrar, it may well be a registrar in an entirely different registry, and I think that that is making sure that the court meets its targets in terms of providing quicker services and not having some registries, particularly that are carrying a heavy burden of a backlog. They're getting assistance in clearing those backlogs by that sharing of resources. The other aspect is that I think that post-COVID, the judges are very much saying, right, we want people to get back into the registries. We want people to appear in court again. There are some practitioners, including myself, who quite like appearing in a list format online. But the judges are all saying we don't get the same outcomes, we don't get the same feel, the practitioners aren't grabbing those times in the corridors of the courts to have discussions and maybe settle things. And so there's this process whereby it's still a mix, sometimes online, but more and more back into the courtrooms. And we're having fewer, if any, times when the court has said, sorry, we've just had a COVID outbreak, we've got to shut down, as we were in 2020, 2021. So that's really a thing of the past. I've had a number of my colleagues saying, oh my goodness, I've got to go all the way into court again, when they got used to doing it online. And some saying, no, it's better. We're having the opportunity to have discussions, meet face to face. People are back to doing defended hearings. And under the circumstances, it is in many respects just like old times when you're actually at the bar table. But in terms of getting the work done, we're seeing real change. And I give the credit to the registrars and the judicial registrars myself, as well as the judges passing over and trusting those judicial officers and registrars doing that work. I've heard some great stories and I've had some great experiences with the new registrars. Judicial registrars are working very hard to achieve settlements. I had one of my staff, and I'll be talking about a number of these episodes, one of my staff coming to me saying, I had a judicial registrar who was prepared to work on this from 9 in the morning and we didn't stop till 8 o'clock at night. And that judicial registrar was online working from home, and the parties got their matter, parenting and property, settled. And that's quite an extraordinary commitment of resources, and different to the old days where you might get 2 or 3 hours at best from a registrar in a settlement conference. So there are real changes happening, and positive ones.
Well, Barry, thanks very much for that. We'll be very much looking forward to hearing from you again at the conference, because this subject is absolutely critical to the practice of family law. And to those of you who've been listening, thank you very much for joining us today. And to find out more about the conference, do go to our website, and we'll very much look forward to seeing you there.